Hello, I am Matt Cush. This is EDL 856, Module 7, Internal and External Publics. We know that internal and external communication involves exchanging information between the district and all community members. Internal communication is distribution of information within the district, and external communication is the interaction of the district and the community as a whole. For this assignment, we were asked to create an internal-external communication chart for our school. I chose to use Creately to make my chart. I found Creately to be a little difficult to use at first, but after a few minutes, I got the hang of it. I still have a lot to learn about making charts, but I am more or less happy with the chart that I made. Here's my chart here, Publics, and this is for the academies of Grand Island Senior High. My choice, our voice. The strength of Publics at Grand Island Public Schools. Grand Island Public Schools does an excellent job of communicating with both external and internal publics. GIPS uses social media, email, text messages, and an automated voice messaging system to communicate with the two publics. Some weaknesses of Publics at Grand Island Public Schools. Grand Island Public Schools does a great job communicating with the publics, but they are far from perfect. One weakness is that GIPS often uses their strength as a weakness. An example is, since we have such strong communication tools, we often share information at the last minute with families, employees, and other stakeholders. I believe one weakness is the timeliness of important information, such as a school day getting canceled. Many families want this information far ahead of time instead of a day before. A second weakness is the lack of two-way communication with the superintendent. Internal publics at Grand Island Public Schools. We'll start with the school board. The school board communicates with the stakeholders via monthly meetings. The meetings are open to the community. Community members are allowed to speak with the school board, but must arrange the meeting prior to the day of the meeting. After the school board meeting, a summary of the meeting is sent to all staff members via email in multiple languages. It's also sent to the public as well. Superintendents. The superintendent normally prefers to speak to the community via video online. The superintendent does not have a weekly video that she sends out, but when important information needs to be relayed, the superintendent usually does it via online video. Unfortunately, at Grand Island Public Schools, the superintendent is not an easy person to get a hold of for most stakeholders. There is little to no two-way communication with the superintendent and most stakeholders at GIPS. Administration. The administration at Grand Island Public Schools normally communicates with stakeholders via email or orally. Administrators at GIPS are available for two-way communication. If a stakeholder has an issue or needs to talk to an administrator, there is no problem setting up a meeting with a member of the administration team. These meetings can be done in person via online video programs or over the phone in multiple languages if needed. Teachers and staff. Teachers and staff members mostly communicate with stakeholders via email or orally. As a teacher, I prefer to communicate via email, but teachers and staff members also use phones, online video programs, or in-person chats to communicate with stakeholders. Whichever method is easiest for the stakeholders is usually the best method. In students. At Grand Island Public Schools, our students communicate with our academy partners and other stakeholders. Since we use an academy model at Grand Island Senior High, our students do have to communicate with community members such as the hospital, local businesses, and more. The main form of communication between students and these community partners are email and in-person communication. Students and teachers normally communicate in person or via email. External publics at Grand Island Senior High. We will start with parents. Communication with parents is a daily thing at Grand Island Public Schools. Parents are communicated with via text message, automated phone messages, email, and face-to-face conversations in multiple languages. The most common methods of communication are automated phone messages and email. Parents and administration often engage in two-way communication. This type of communication is initiated either by a parent or an administrator. Community partners. Due to Grand Island Senior High using the Academy model, we have a number of relationships with community partners such as the hospital and local businesses, as I mentioned earlier. Our community partners are a huge part of our school and contribute to student learning and success, and for that reason, these partners are in constant communication with Grand Island Senior High. Most of this communication takes place via email, text messages, and face-to-face conversations. Two-way communication is very important for our community partners. The City of Grand Island. The City of Grand Island and Grand Island Public Schools have a very strong relationship. We only have one public high school in Grand Island, and that means we are not easily forgotten. The City of Grand Island and Grand Island Public Schools communicate especially for things such as snow days. This communication usually takes place between an administrator and someone at the city, such as the mayor. This communication usually is via phone call, text message, or email. Wayne State College. Grand Island Senior High has a relationship with Wayne State College. We offer free dual credit courses through Wayne State. I am a teacher of one of these classes. I communicate with representatives from Wayne State via email and occasionally via in-person conversations. Two-way communication is important for us when dealing with Wayne State because we want to continue to maintain a positive relationship with Wayne State even though we are many miles apart. Central Community College. Grand Island has Central Community College. This is our local college. We have a relationship with CCC, but recently this relationship has been strained due to Wayne State College offering free dual credit courses. There are still multiple courses at Grand Island Senior High offered for dual credit via CCC, and we must maintain this relationship with our hometown college. The best way to maintain this relationship is through two-way communications such as email, phone conversations. But since CCC is a local college, it is important to engage in face-to-face conversations with people at Central Community College. As for critiquing my chart, I feel that it could have been better if I were better at using Creately. But as I stated at the beginning of the video, I am more or less happy with the chart. We know that the purpose of nearly all communication, both internal and external, is to better support student learning and success. I feel my chart did a good job of showing the communication process, and thank you for listening.